And good evening, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of RFL. As you can tell, we're not coming from the traditional studios. Instead, we're in Yorktown Heights. We're going to be welcoming you to a debate for the New York State Senate in the District 40. It's a seat being vacated by Vinnie Leibel, and he, in fact, is running for the Putnam County Executive seat. The debates are part of the WCA Call to Action. In fact, this is the second of a 4-debate series. We're doing this in conjunction, in addition, with Iona College, who has been supplying polls for each of these 4 races. Again, all the information, if you'd like to check it out online, just please go to calltoactioncampaign.org. Now, I'd like to introduce the candidates at this moment. We're joined by Mike Kaplowitz. He is the Democratic candidate. And to his immediate side, he's joined by Greg Ball, who is a Republican candidate. And to my right, certainly my better half here, is Karen McBride, the editor of the Fairfield County Business Journal, Westchester County Business Journal, Hudson Valley Business, and I can keep going.
Thanks,
all right, Karen. Thank you very much. All right, here are the rules, and there's not too many of them. I'd ask the audience to have no applause or any noise during the course of the campaign. At the end, I think there'll be a very deserved round of applause, but till then, let's try and keep the sound to a minimum. Each candidate will have 2-minute opening statements, and per the coin toss, Greg Ball will be delivering the first one, and at the conclusion, there'll be 2-minute closing statements as well for both candidates. In between, the candidates will be posed a series of questions from Karen and myself. If we feel the need to, we will enjoy follow-ups at that point. Everyone ready to begin? All right. Then let's go right ahead, and let's start with opening statements. Mr. Ball, you have 2 minutes.
It's a pleasure and a privilege and an honor to be here. It's also an honor to run for public service as a former Air Force captain and Air Force Academy graduate. As a young leader, we live in the greatest nation that this world has ever known. And New York State used to be called the Empire State, but has quickly become the Vampire State. It's a state that is sucking the lifeblood out of homes and viewers who are watching tonight, out of many in this audience, if not everybody, out of our small businesses, out of our communities. And we don't need window dressing in Albany. We need comprehensive change. We don't need 1,000 different press releases every 6 days and 1,000 different ideas that go nowhere beyond the wastebasket in a typical legislator's office. We have 2 million New Yorkers that have left this state. If you're like my family, as most of you are, times are tough and we're hurting. New York State has over 5,000 taxing entities, duplicative services. We have the highest school taxes in the nation, in the galaxy, in Westchester County, and Putnam County is not far behind. I will fight and I will hit the ground running as the next state senator to fight to cap property taxes, freeze school taxes for seniors, finally eliminate the onslaught of unfunded mandates, and yes, move away from a property value model to an income model. I am fiercely independent. My own party has spent over $2 million to try to take me out. I will arrive in Albany with that unique factor of having my integrity intact. When I arrive, I will represent the greatest threat to the status quo that Albany has ever seen. It's time to change Albany, flip it on its head, and get this state back in track. And together, we'll do exactly that. Thank you.
Mr. Kaplowitz.
Thank you very much. An election is a job interview, an opportunity to meet the candidates and to make a selection. My name is Mike Kaplowitz, and I'm running for New York State Senate because I believe New York is not working. It's people, the legislature, the economy, jobs, taxes, nothing is working, and people have even less and less confidence that, in fact, we can turn this around. But I'm an optimist. I live here, too, when my wife asked, why are we running? And I believe that our better days are upon us, and we, in fact, can make New York work. I have the experience, I have the track record, I have the history. I'm a small business owner. For 26 years, a quarter of a century, I've had a certified financial planning practice. I'm an attorney, an insurance agent, a stockbroker, a pension consultant. Why do I mention all these? Because it's a skill set, it's an experience, it's a mindset. I'm a family man. My wife and I, and Jane is here this evening, we have 2 beautiful young daughters, the greatest pride in our life, and they're both in college. And we understand, both professionally and personally, what it takes to effectuate your dreams, put money aside for college, to be able to hopefully retire someday, and to see your children grow up and live in the same community, the Hudson Valley, the beautiful Hudson Valley that we live in now. I'm a county legislator for the last 13 years, so I have experience. I understand government. I've poured through 6,000 lines of budget year after year, day after day to find cuts, and I've saved $120 million. I'm going to budget school in Albany. There is no such thing as budget school in Albany. I'm creating budget school in Albany because if you don't know where the bodies are and the money is, you can't make the changes, you can't bring the solutions, you can't bring the relief. There is tremendous pain out there. Jobs, home values, people are fearful, and rightfully so, and it starts with the fact that they have no confidence that their leaders, ethically, can do the right things. I've signed all 5 reform pledges. My career is one of integrity. You might disagree with me on issues, but you can't question my integrity and my fierce independence and my fiscal conservatism, and I want to go to Albany as your next New York State Senator. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Again, a reminder on the applause, if we can, to just hold them till the end. Karen's got the first question.
Thanks, Rich. Good evening, Mr. Kaplowitz, Mr. Ball. I first must apologize because I have a bit of laryngitis, so if you have difficulty hearing me, please let me know. I do promise to do my best.
Yes.
Westchester County is the highest taxed county in the nation. The high cost of living and working here is the #1 complaint we hear from the business community every day. A recent survey of Westchester County Association members echoed this. These costs are out of control. Things must change. Westchester is in serious trouble. There is a call for a change in the way the public sector operates, a streamlined, more affordable, and more accountable state government. Mr. Ball, you mentioned New York State has thousands of taxing entities, where the average state has only 200. And there have been a number of studies, including this one, Local Government Efficiency and Competitiveness, that recommend ways to reduce the cost of government. So, Mr. Ball, I will ask you, you have been very critical of your opponent in your campaign. You referred to him as Tax Hike Mike, who has taxed and spent Westchester, in your words, to the dubious position of being the highest taxed county in America. Sir, if you are elected to the Senate, please tell us what specific steps you would take toward consolidation and reduction of local taxing authorities to ease this tax burden.
Yeah, I will be active not only in the legislature, but at the local level to bring about consolidation. My opponent is already backtracking and moving away from consolidation initiatives. I will roll up my sleeves at the local level, like in the Village of Brewster and in northern Westchester, to bring about consolidation at the local level, including school districts. And sure, I have been critical not of my opponent on a personal level, but taxing and raising spending. At the end of the day, this is the Sheldon Silver of White Plains. He was the chairman of Budget and Appropriations, and he says that I'm going to go to Albany and start a budget school. Well, I hope nobody attends, because we're in bad enough debt as it is. This man increased spending by over $1 billion, over 84% in new spending. And sure, state spending has gone up at the exact same time, but at the local level, he was rubber stamping those tax increases, rubber stamping those spending increases, and I'm very glad that he had a conversion at the deathbed of his political career, but it's too little, too late. I have fought from the very beginning to cap property taxes, free school taxes for seniors, eliminate unfunded mandates. I have voted against over 180 tax increases. I was voting against these budgets when even my own party thought it wasn't a cool thing to do, and I will arrive in Albany as an independent voice who is a strict fiscal conservative and who doesn't only do it during a political campaign or in a press release or during a press conference, but who believes that we can get New York State back on track by passing a taxpayer bill of rights and capping state spending. If we just capped state spending at the rate of inflation, we would have saved over $21 billion in the previous 3 years. That's how we get New York State back on track. I had the track record to prove it. He'll do a song and dance tonight and say he does, but the facts show the other.
Mr. Ball, just to be specific, you mentioned school consolidations. Could you tell us what specific steps you would take in that?
Yeah, I got to tell you, I mean, I think BOCES is a perfect example where it has, some steps have begun to move forward in a progressive way. I was in a room full of superintendents who said, well, we would support consolidation. I mean, we have superintendents making nearly more than the President of the United States. They have assistants to assistants to assistants. And in that room, they said, sure, we'd be up for it. Now, if you ask them which one of you are we going to eliminate, well, they may say, hey, watch now. And that's where you need a leader, not a politician. Because if we're going to consolidate the Village of Brewster into the town of Southeast, if we're going to consolidate the Village of Pauling into the town of Pauling, if we're going to touch the sacred cow of these districts, including school districts, it's going to take a leader who's willing to take the hits, who can survive those hits, and pull the community together to get that tough work done. Otherwise, it's only going to be an issue during election time and in editorial board meetings. And we spend over $4 billion a year in duplicative government services. In fact, as county legislator, if he really was a reformer, he could have called for the elimination of the Westchester County Board of Legislators, which would have saved us an awful lot of money, and go back to a Board of Supervisors, which is a proposal that some like Jody Aguardi and myself have been working on for the past 2 years.
Okay, thank you.